Hi, I'm talking to Mark Spence, who lives on Broad Albany Street in Albany, about his wonderful front yard. Mark, kind of flowers did you plant there?
Um, looking at them, so there's a lot of black-eyed Susans, the yellow ones with the dark center, California poppies, other types of poppies, of sort of in pinks and red hues and the like. There's also there was a fair amount of lupin, but I think that had sort of a shorter go than the other plants around it. And let's see, trying to think. Actually, beyond the flowers, what we have is loads of butterflies and bees, and of all sorts. And so that's kind of been the fun of it, and that's also another purpose behind it is pollinators are under stress across the whole continent.
Well, the plants, the flowers, are they
Yeah.
native to Oregon or native to this area? Or...
Some are, and I mean, so what I would say right now, this is just kind of a project in process as it's going, and I believe next year we will plant shorter species. Again, primarily species that are from Washington, Oregon, and California. The theory was the California ones might make it through a terrible hard summer, but if it's very wet, the Washington ones would flourish, and the Oregon ones would sort of find out who they wanted to join in the middle of all that.
But you mentioned planting next year. Is
Yeah.
this an annual project? I mean, you can't just let them keep growing.
No, no, no. I have to find anyone out there listening. I'm going to need to borrow a scythe in about 6 or 8 weeks.
Ah, okay.
We had one when I was a kid for no purpose. It was like
I once bought one at a hardware store in Albany. It never. It's no longer there, unfortunately. Maybe Coastal Farm has a side.
Yeah,
They probably do.
right. So what will happen? Actually the soil is just river loam, and so these are flowers that not only they don't need much water, they need almost well zero fertilizer. They're basically just growing in the soil. It's almost like everything they bring in comes from above the soil as below the soil, which isn't entirely true. But
Yeah.
it is, it's just
Well,
almost,
did you have to put in special soil then before you planted these, or was it just? I mean, the lawn, and you took the lawn out somehow, and that was it.
yeah, took the lawn out, and most of the soil came from the Bark Place, and a lot of that soil is coming from the Calapooya.
Yeah.
So, which is always flooding and sort of, so it's going to be pretty rich, but it's got more sand in it than a dark loamy soil would have in it. I mean, yeah, if you look down on it, it's kind of buff colored there.
So you can't just let your lawn die and turn over the soil and plant flowers. You gotta put some extra soil in.
Put extra soil in, but also I had most of the lawn was taken care of with a pick mattock, and that's that's a lot of scraping to get so we had the guy who was helping me. All the soil was brought in with machinery, but he got it at the Bark Place, and actually it was wheelbarrows and shovels as I think about it now, but he was sort of picking it up over there.
So this is not the kind of thing that I thought of, that just labor-saving thing. It actually is a lot of work.
Well, but I haven't mowed anything, as you can see. It hasn't been mowed
But I
yet.
mean, in the preparation of it,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but I mean, you would have to do the same thing if you wanted to put in a new lawn. Over the years, lawns will pick up weeds and things like that. So, but I think what gets done with this stuff is, and I will use a scythe and just sort of get it, and when it turns brown, I'll probably rototill it into that soil, and probably all the seeds that are connected to these plants will be coming up again next year anyway.
Yeah.
And that's and so these things really take care of themselves. I mean, the water bills are so crazy here, mainly because we're paying for the treatment plant, not the
Yeah.
water itself, and I think we're pretty much staying underneath the ceiling before the It's almost like they charge us for the treatment plant, but if you water too much, that's where your bill starts getting a little
really?
crazy. Yeah,
I never noticed
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Well, Mark, listen, I want to know some more about that, but for now, thank you very much for talking to us here on H Today, and good luck with the rest of this project.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your interest. My wife initially was saying, the neighbors are going to think it's kind of weird. And I said, well, I've got 3 words for you, which was bees, butterflies, and pollinators.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and which is a lot of fun. I mean, it's almost like we've got this little apiary out here.
Yeah,
with
right.
Butterflies. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you
All right.
very much. And I see Ukraine is on your mind.
Ukraine is on my mind. My nephew and his wife were there for about 2 years,
Oh,
several
okay.
years ago. So